welcome to this week's edition of The Rundown. I'm Greg Payne here with Brandon Turner, owner of Turner Baseball Academy and eXposure Baseball. Brandon, the fall rolls on. We had another successful weekend last weekend. Rather than me trying to throw it all out there, I'm just going to throw it to you and say, talk about last weekend.
Yeah, it was a really good weekend. We had a lot of teams do a lot of really good things, and then even on some other teams, we had a lot of individuals do a lot of really good things. So overall, it was a really good weekend. Basically, our 13U they got started this past weekend. It's one of our 13U groups. Carter Hensley, game one, threw the ball really well. And then Scotty Miller, game two, threw the ball really well. Braden Maynor, he was the kind of, obviously Brent's son. He had a really good weekend. I know he had 3 or 4 doubles, so he was solid. 14U Black team had a strong weekend, finished third. They continue to develop, continue to get better, and that's always good to see. Acton Finch threw the ball really well. Tyler Parks threw the ball really well, also swung it really well. Jake Copeland came in, got a save, or closed it out, and then also had a couple hits on the weekend. And then one that, has both weekends here has done really well is Cy Vickers. He's honestly been really good on the mound and at the plate, so definitely excited to see that. 14U Prime, they made it to a championship. Carson Flint was the most valuable pitcher of the tournament. He threw the ball really well. Even last inning was second, third. 1 out. We're up by 1, and he got 2 big strikeouts. So, like I said, that was really good to see. And another one that, he's a little guy, but he continues to perform, continues to do things really well is Gage Hardy. So really excited about Gage. He continues to make strides. So freshman Black, Mason Gatlin, he threw the ball really well. And then one that has been doing it really well from both sides is Alex Brew. He threw the ball really well once again, and then on top of that, he's been swinging it really well as on top of everything. And then Edwin Pratt. He's starting to find his stride here a little bit. Always has a really good swing, has juice. Like he has the ability. The big thing is transitioning that to the field, and we feel like this past weekend he was starting to do that. So we look forward to this upcoming weekend. Freshman Hell team, they won the championship this past weekend. Brody Johnston was good at the plate, and he got 2 saves on the weekend. Nolan Sargent continues to swing the bat really well. Really good left-handed hitter. He's a guy that can hit, but at the same time, he can hit for power. He can do a lot of different things defensively. Mm-hmm. Bryce Sanders continues to swing it really well. Ethan Porterfield, another guy that, basically week in, week out, you know what you're going to get. He's going to pound the zone. He's going to give you every opportunity to make plays behind him. He's always going to be in really good shape. So another really good weekend for him on the mound. Mason Roderick, another one, good weekend. Zach Porter, catching-wise, he's been really good, so excited to see that. And then Cooper Jones, he threw the championship game, threw the ball really well. He's a big, projectable, already 6'2", 6'3", left-handed pitcher, and excited to see him kind of still moving forward here. Reed Mangum threw the ball really well. Houston Markham threw the ball really well. Houston Markham's another one. He continues to put down bunts, get on base, and once he gets on base, it's a problem. So really excited for that. Underclass Black, Will Pryor, really excited for him. This past weekend, he was 86, 88. 2022 right-handed pitcher. So he continues to get better and better and better. So we're really excited about that. And then a Gordon Lee boy that continues. He's not going to overpower you, but he continues to. You know what you're going to get every single time he goes out there, and it's always going to be good results. Is Tanner Wilson. That's one that had a really good summer on the mound, and he's transitioned to this fall really well. So That's another one. Underclass Ricketts team, they had a really good weekend. They won their first 2 games. Sam Cecil, I keep saying it. I think Sam's he's going to be one of the better players in the state in the 2023 age group. And he had a really good weekend. Our Sweetwater boy, Ryan Littleton, had another really good weekend. Joey LaMattina, we talked about him last week. Him and Cecil, you look out there in the field and they all look like, okay, your eyes just gravitate towards them because they look the part. Mm-hmm. But on top of that, they've been performing really well. Joey LaMattina is one. Denver Slifka, for us, he was our underclass pitcher of the week for the organization and threw the ball really well, and that was a big win for that group. Brady Smith continues to throw the ball exceptionally well. I think that Brady, once again, is going to be one of the top 2023 arms here, especially moving into next summer. So excited about that. And then Aiden Tipton. Aiden Tipton was kind of your guy that would always, he was kind of what the team needed offensively, on the mound, everything. So he had a really good weekend as well. Underclass Boshears, Luke Lowry continues to swing it unbelievably well. I was actually talking to him on the phone the other night, and I was sitting in my car before the game started, and he all of a sudden, Luke comes out there, and he don't know I'm sitting there, and he's putting a contraption on his bat. He's getting a tennis ball, and he's like slinging tennis balls out behind the fence before his game started. And then I've never seen it before, but as I sat there and watched, basically it helps you stay through the ball with the drill that he was doing. And so for me, that was one. That's what you like to see.
Right.
He hit with his group.
Extra work.
Yes, it's exactly right. It means something to him. So he was another one that had a really, really good weekend at the plate. Walker Strange had a really good weekend at the plate. Patrick Johnson swung it really well. Also went 7 innings. Honestly, I think it was 7 innings, like 78, 80 pitches.
Jeez.
And then on top of that, this is also hard with 12 Ks.
That's very hard
yes.
to do. You're all over the zone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was Patrick, new MTSU commit. You know what you're going to get. It was good to see that. Brody Jenner threw the ball really well. So we were really excited about that as well. Underclass White, on the mound, some guys that we thought, threw the ball pretty well was Mason Cox. That's one that defense didn't help him behind him, but at the same time, he continued to just get in there, pound the zone. And so it was good to see him face some adversity and continue to just, get after it. He's not letting anything else affect him. Brock Ragsdale from McCauley, he threw the ball pretty well as on top of that. Brooks Brownlee, same thing. Brooks swung it pretty well. But on the mound, he also gave us a chance against a really good team out of California. Lastly, our upper class scout team, they had a really good run. They're extremely talented, obviously. Made it to the championship, 7th inning tie game. They were playing against the best teams in the country. Elijah Gallion had a 2-run homer to tie it in the quarterfinals.
I saw that.
Yes.
That was good.
And then the semifinals hit a 3-run. We're down 2-0, 2 outs, 2 strikes, 7th inning. He hit a 3-run bomb to win that one. So it was really good to see that because Elijah's starting to get back to what he does really well. And that's staying within himself, basically just letting his ability take over. So it was good to kind of see him getting comfortable again. ETSU commit. Rice commit, Andrew Grande, really good weekend. Georgia commit, Jake Poindexter on the mound. That's a group that Cooper Kenny, South Carolina.
He's okay.
Yeah, he's not bad. Vitas Valencia's another South Carolina commit. You could go down the roster with that group and talk about the talent. However, they're all really good kids. They're all really good team players.
And they love to play.
Yes, that's exactly right. You never ask them, hey, are you going to play in the fall? Or are you going to play in the summer? I don't know. No, like it's right. More of a, of course I am. Like, what else am I going to do?
Right.
but overall, Cooper Castile actually threw for them, and so did Ollie Aikens.
Yeah.
Both of them threw unbelievably well, gave them very good opportunity, both games to stay in it, and then for Elijah to come up in crucial situations. But yeah, I mean, like I said, overall, Will Grimmett is another one. Morehead State commit. Yep, pounds the zone.
Yep.
You know what you're going to get. He's coming right after you. And then lastly, underclass black. Joseph Gibson threw the ball really well the last game of the weekend. We got a lot of guys on that team that are really good players, and I look forward to here in the next 2 or 3 weeks, kind of getting them out there, letting everybody kind of see them. Because, regardless if you're talking about Gavin Peterson, Caden Snyder, I mean, the list goes on, Ethan Jones, Reese Jenner, like you could go on and on. They're all really solid players that are going to play at the next level.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we move into this weekend. We've got this weekend coming up. We got some guys down in Atlanta, got some guys down in Alabama, and then next weekend we got the World Series. So really excited about that.
Yeah, okay. You kind of talked about that. Let's look forward a little bit, and you said down in Alabama, that's Hoover, right? I thought
right.
Some of the guys. That facility at Hoover is really nice.
Yep.
And it seems like I've coached with you for 4 years, and I don't remember us going there to Alabama very much.
Yep.
But now I'm starting to see exposure go over into Alabama. What has kind of been your philosophy on that?
Yeah, I mean, basically they, as soon as PBR came in and they took over Lake Point, well, perfect game. They don't have 8 fields anymore, so it kind of spread them out a little bit. So they ended up going to Hoover, which I always knew Hoover because when I was at Mississippi State, that's where the SEC tournament was. Extremely nice that area, a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
Extremely clean area. But then on top of that, they built that complex that's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And actually, they built another one. I believe it's Alabaster, Alabama, and our 14U was there, all turf complex.
Yeah, Tom was talking about that. He said it was phenomenal.
Yes, and so you're starting to see these turf complexes going in everywhere. Obviously, East Cobb's turf. You got Lake Point, the one over in Hoover. This one that we're talking about now. You're starting to see a lot of people kind of going to the turf, which is great. Mm-hmm. Because with the rain and so mm-hmm. forth. Back when I played, you had to worry about rainouts. Yeah. Like in the summers, it's always going to storm.
Right.
If
you spend all that money to travel, you don't get to play.
Yes, exactly. So I think you're starting to see everybody kind of going to turf, which the traditionalists might not like it very much, but at the same time, I think it's good for the game. But yeah, Hoover, all those groups over in Alabama, they've been great.
Yeah, I enjoyed it down there. Except for if you have to play on the field one, it's a hike.
Yeah, that's right.
Right there,
that's right.
It's different. So anyway, I think it was about 278 degrees when we were down there.
And that turf it'll up it there a little bit
just
too.
A little bit. All right, so let's talk about. I saw something that you guys, that eXposure pushed out this week. It might have been out before, but it's the first time I've seen it, so I'm going to treat it like it just got rolled out.
Right.
And it's a World Series. The concept is essentially we're going to live stream it, and every coach in the country can watch it.
Yep.
Talk about that a little bit. I think that's a phenomenal idea.
Yeah, I mean, basically, kind of what we talked about a little bit last week is trying to be creative with getting our guys in front of colleges. They extended the dead period until January.
Yeah, smart. That's smart.
Yeah, for now that's just Division I, but Division IIs, JUCOs, and people like that. Which for me personally, I don't understand why Division Is. I guess they could get COVID, and Division II, those people are immune to it. But anyways, they backed it up. So for us, we sat there and said, okay, well D2s. NAIA, JUCO, they can get out, they can watch, but a lot of them are having to go through protocols with their falls right now to where it's hard for them to even get out. Mm. So really, when you look at it, there's not many people that are getting out right now because everybody's trying to figure out the best way to operate whatever system that they have put in place at the school. So we basically said, okay, let's bring it to us. Like, let's go out, have this World Series with all of our guys in the organization, And what it's going to be is going to be from freshmen up to some of the 18U players. Now, what we'll do as a staff is we'll have a draft. And when, we'll sit around, have a draft, go over, we'll put the guys in each, we'll have, the board, everything.
Yeah.
And basically everybody gets their team. So basically it's, they're drafting their team. And so anyways, on top of that, we're going to bring in a broadcasting company, and they're going to stream everything. They're going to have their names. We're going to do players of the game. We're going to do post-game interviews. We're going to do a lot of different things to one, make it a neat experience for the players. Mm-hmm. But then on top of that, push it out to as many colleges as we can, so that one, they can see everybody. But on top of that, even some of our younger guys that might not be ready to be seen, they still have some development to go and all that. Well, what it will end up doing is when I'm up at the plate, I get the feeling of, for the first time, that their school's watching me.
Right.
And you get to feel, that the nerves, because it doesn't matter what anybody says, it's a learned trait in the sense of, if you go to Cooper Kenny, you can put Cooper and some of those guys into the biggest environments, and they don't change. Like they're used to it. They've been doing it since they were 13, 14 years old.
That's right. That matters.
So, yes, and you can see a lot of kids, not just with anybody, any high school kid, if they're not used to it, it's a struggle for them.
They'll shrink.
Yes, and so for us, kind of getting them used to, during these times, feeling like there's people watching, that's also important. But like I said, extremely excited about it. I think it's gonna be a really good, event. We're gonna do it up in Cleveland. And I know our coaches are looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's gonna be good.
No kidding. We haven't talked about it, so this is the first time you and I are talking about it. So when I saw it, that I was very interested. I sent out a tweet, retweeted it and all.
Yeah.
But sitting here listening to you talk about that, this is just a phenomenal idea.
Yeah.
There's zero chance Bo Shears was in on the idea, though, right?
Well, Bo Shears is gonna be on vacation.
Yeah.
Which. Typical, but he's going with his family down to I don't know, they're going somewhere down to the Gulf, and so he won't be there this weekend. I've been hammering him about it for the past 2 weeks. He actually didn't tell me until 2 weeks ago. He told me about a month and a half ago but then I started talking about this World Series, and he was scared to tell me, to remind me of it. So he waited until 2 weeks ago to tell me that he won't be there. But he's going down there, and he'll meet us down in Fort Myers for the Jupiter tournament.
Yeah.
That's moved over there. So, like I said, really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be exciting for everybody.
That's great stuff. I'm looking forward to it. All right, this is a lot of players' names out there again. Got a lot of great things going on within this organization, and great things still to come with the World Series and Jupiter and Fort Myers and all the things that fall usually brings. So, Brandon, thanks for your time.
Appreciate you.
Look forward to getting back with you guys, talking more about eXposure Baseball and all the guys that make up eXposure Baseball. This for Brandon Turner. This is Greg Payne. This has been The Rundown. Have a great week.
On the west side, cause it's where I stay. I just made 1,000, blew it in your face. I've been going in, I'ma close the case. I can't wait no more, man, I gotta blow today. Popping on the west side,